I want to go out for another walk. I was just catching up with some Twitter comments. Excuse me. I shorted BTC before, but the question on Twitter was from Gabby, a long-time follower. Hi, Gabby. Thanks, Gabby, for the kind words. Gabby asked if it's all right to trade against an H4, when the H4 isn't aligned. And I suppose because Gabby's just following my old rules, as it were, so it's worth mentioning. Excuse me. As time passes, my rules are changing day by day. Not so much as I'm not as cautious as I used to be. That's the correct expression. Because obviously the emphasis has changed onto momentum, the lower time frames possibly. Excuse me. So I'll put a quick answer on YouTube, which was, if we've got an M30 TMA bar forming, which in this case we don't have, or an M30 3CR, then when I shorted this, hopefully you can follow me because I am sort of jumping from different subjects because I've literally just decided to do this video on the fly. But the short I took, excuse me, over here was based on this 3CR forming here. So you've got a trend high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low on M15. Now I'm focusing on, and this is still a work in progress, the Bollingers, but all three were red. We had an ascending trend line from way back. I'm not going to go into that right now on this. It's part of the previous videos, the longer videos. But during those videos, I was saying, look, if this supply area above get breached by the price, which it did, and then pulls back and then continues, sort of this thing here, then I would be all good to go long. But what we need to take on board as well, and I always do take on board because this is my own strategy, is that if this fails to do that, then it's highly likely it will collapse, which is what price did. So I was watching this for the possible long. This yellow is the daily open for today as well. And it held, in other words. No, the daily open failed to be broken and used as potential support for the longs. Which was why I took this short trade. So now, back to answer, excuse me, I'm going to pause this because I've got something going on. Right, I'm back. Coughing fit, sorry. So, now to continue this, I said the answer to Gabby was if we had an M30 TMA flickering green. It's not. But we've actually got an M30 2CR, an engulfing bar, which is a break of resistance. We've also got, at this point here, a trend in place. I'm not counting the highs, I'm counting the closes, so that's a new nuance as well. But most importantly, these were the two cryptos that I sort of use as correlation. BTC and ETH. I trade BTC, I don't bother with ETH, or I'm learning to trade BCT, let's put it that way, either very small size or demo. Because as you know, I like correlation, and I could probably put up another 5 or 6 crypto pairs that use the USD and get even better idea of what's happening across 5 or 6 pairs. Anyway, I digress. So, in answer to Gabby, because this will probably appeal more to Gabby than everyone else, do we need H4? No, we don't, because as you can see, we're trading in the direction of momentum now, big momentum. If you look at M15 in this instance, which I did, we've actually got an RSI trigger. We are also, we've got a 3CR on M15. Remember, M15 is a 1 minute trend. And the M30 is often a 5-minute trend, low, high, high, low, high, high. But oh, sorry, that's an M30. So that's an M30 trend with the 3CR engulfing, and once this is broken and closed through with a lower time frame, we are highly likely to go long. These are all nuances that I'm teaching myself at the moment. M15, we've got a swing trend, so that gives us a clue that we should be considering, and that 3CR and the new momentum on this instance. The 3CR has not pulled back, which is another indicator that you can't. I say this 100 times, thousands of times on Twitter. You can't avoid the screen time to learn this stuff. You cannot just. I looked at a YouTube channel today. You can't just look at a load of pictures of made up results. Guy said he'd a young guy, 7 years experience, so he's probably got 3, if that. Not trading either, just studying charts, ICT, whatever, SMC and all that. And then he's got screenshots of all these people he's supposed to have traded, taught 1,250 people to trade profitably. And the guy's charging, thousands for subs and all that. Very plausible. And then he's got loads of little pictures on his website. This guy's earned 12,500 since he's been trading his strategy. This one's 15. I mean, honestly, guys, if you're new, please open your eyes. Don't pay these people. They're idiots. If you're older, then hopefully you've got and got a couple of years under your belt and realise this isn't easy. Then knuckle down, and you will succeed if you really knuckle down. But you've got to do the screen time. So getting back to my point, you can't avoid learning this stuff by putting in thousands of hours. That's what I've done. You are seeing the results of improvements almost every day to existing systems, to the point where I can see these trades in my sleep now, and you will too. So getting back to the point, this this little thing here is a 15-minute 3CR, which is actually a 1-minute trend. But I don't want to go too off-piste on this one. But you've got loads going on here. You've got this trend here, which we just talked about on the M15. If we go down to M1, and this is the point I was sort of making to Gabby as well. Actually, you don't need to go down to M1. I did go on to M1. But at this point here we have broke. Sorry, that's the Bollinger's going, and look, price is going up. It's actually ETH. So that just shows you why it's worth having 2 or 3, or 4 or 5 related pairs, i.e. cryptos and USD. I should put more on here and get rid of these for a special crypto weekend template. Anyway, I digress. You've got so much going on here. That's a 2B. Swing 1, swing 2, swing 3. Little 2B there. We've got the momentum coming to the market. We've broken. And this is what I said to Gabby. Really, the first thing we should look for now is not all the technical stuff, like the H4, the H1, the M30 and all that. I've said this many, many times on Twitter. I don't emphasize it enough. It is the first reversal that is the most important. This low reversal, because we've not reversed here, we've not reversed here, we've not reversed here until it keeps going down. It keeps going down and it's failed to reverse. It keeps going down and then it reverses there. And look what happens to price. And this was part of my original job with the 3CR that I don't make enough noise about now. But look, and the 2B reversal, because the 3CR came from Vic Sperandio's 2B reversal. I always try to credit Vic and the 2B with my progression, because that's, in my opinion, the right way. Credit traders that have gone before you, not like ICT, just make up stuff and pretend he's invented it. The scammer ICT, I should say. This is a minor resistance level now, because it failed to break this. This is the important one, and then this failed to break down here, but At no point would we have been faked into a long. This is how the indicators keep us out of failed trades. So, Gabby, I know it's a long-winded answer to your question, but we've moved a long way. And sorry, I hope I haven't embarrassed you by mentioning your name, because it wasn't meant that way at all. It was just, I appreciate comments from people. I certainly appreciate comments from people that have been following me, kindly been following me for so many years. And I want to do the best for all of you. So the more comments I get, the better, hopefully you will get, and the better my explaining stuff will get. I know this is a bit of a mismatch of information responding to Gabby, but I've got so much going on in my head, and so much progression, and so much information, and the process of learning to trade was so so it's just been an amazing journey, really, an amazing journey. So anyway, the moral of this is we're looking for the lowest time frame to get us into scalping. If you're scalping, we only really need M30. I mentioned that to Gabby. M30 is a 5-minute trend, and I love starting with the M30. H1, if M30 is green here, that is absolutely slam dunkersville for me looking for a trade, like here. And if that's flickering, yeah, I want to be all over that. I might not have bothered, if I have to be honest, of taking this long unless that starts to flicker now. So this was potentially not a good example of a long trade. But if you look closely, I think this is the point I was also trying to make, is at this point here, if we've got a close on the candles, even an M15 break of an M30 level that forced price below the previous low, even that is a good signal. So I'd be all over this like a rash, so watching it. But I have to caveat that with, I would prefer to see an M30 going on here if I was looking at M30. Really, this is just an example of how I find trades. If I see that flickering, and then I look at my line chart, and I do all my multi-time frame analysis, and this is correct, and so on and so forth, then I want to be in that. But the same goes for M15. Like at this point here, if M15 was 43, yeah, I'd be all over it. It's not the best example, of a cheeky long. When I say cheeky, it's not like A+, let's put it that way. Because really and truthfully, this is short, big time. This is just a pullback on the short trade. That has to be said. So, you've got to get your mindset into what is going on multiple time frames. I know it's difficult, but this can help it. And that's the thing I thought on my walk this morning. I need to get out soon, otherwise I'm going to miss the sunshine. That is something that crossed my mind. That little scammer I was talking about, he was on about how swing trading is the best way to trade. And if you're a beginner, you need to learn swing trading and all that. It's all rot. You can tell he doesn't know what the F is talking about, because he's not actually walking the walk, just repeating and regurgitating everything he's learnt from idiots and passing it on, which is what all the baby ICT guys do. Nothing is mentioned about the years it will take to train your brain to overcome the adrenaline. It's all just for added, because they don't want you. They don't want to. They cannot tell you. If they want you to sign up to their scammy subservice, because if they tell you it's going to take you a few months to identify winning patterns and stuff like that, and then about another 4 or 5 years to actually train your brain, you're going to run a mile, aren't you? That's why I'd prefer to be honest at first, and if I can help people later on with a mentoring or coaching service or whatever, then I want to make sure every single person knows how hard it is to overcome that adrenaline. I mean, I know most of you guys that are following me still after years know that. You know that. The only reason we fail, and sorry I've gone off track if you're watching this, Gabby, and you don't need to hear this, you know it. The only reason we fail as traders is because we break our own rules. We cannot control our urges to get into trades and take that extra one trade. That is it. I say that many times on Twitter. You are your own worst enemy. You are the reason you fail. We, human beings, are the weakest link in trading. Simple as that. Look, this is what I mean by flickering now. This one's trying to flicker. It literally just flickered with momentum. And I love that because then I can look at the lower time frames and I can, you know, I've taken the lead from the flickerer. This one isn't, but it should be and should do. And then I can look at M1 and assess what's going on there. Actually, that's a wedge forming there. The old school wedges Steve Nyson used to talk about, amongst others, when I first opened my charts. Really, these aren't following the rules of trend lines, though. It's just a wedge pattern, because that's not a valid trend line connection, because this should have broken that low. But because it's a wedge, it's a different thing altogether. Anyway, I digress. Sorry about that. I need to make a move, but all this is wrong for that long flicker. So, but if it was right, you know, because this is well, this is part of that wedge. That's quite interesting, really, because we shouldn't worry about the divergence there. That's good. Higher high. So I've digressed. I do apologise. But if this comes in, okay. And the higher time frames obviously lead the way with momentum, which is why that, I think it was M15 that was flickering. Yeah, it was that second bar there. If that closes green, then remember what I do now. I trade the break of the green close, because that's a growing momentum candle. But then I'd want that one to be strong as well. You know, they all have to agree as much as possible. And then you need a target. I mean, this is a bad example because the spread's so bad. So trading 1 minute, 5 minute is not the best idea on BTC. Anyway, I've rambled on yet again. I apologise for that, guys. But I need to get out and enjoy the last of our summer in the UK sunshine. I mean, it's 18 degrees out there, for God's sake. There's people swimming in the sea. It's crazy. I'd have a swim if I didn't have this damn cold still. But anyway, I digress. Sorry. Have a good afternoon on a Saturday in the UK. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.